Yeah, I'm from Korea.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it's nice meeting you. So we just have a couple of minutes and we start. So thanks for being on time. Okay, hello Naveen. It's nice being with you here. Okay, so Naveen, you can unmute yourself. Where are you speaking from? Hello, Naveen. Okay.
Yeah, Dheeraj is hosting today. Yeah, he will take care of it.
Ah, okay. It's nice meeting you. Okay, so I think we can wait 3 minutes to go. Okay. Hello, Dina. أهلا Dina.
ازيك فادي.
Yeah, hi. Nice to meeting you.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, Samuel. It's nice meeting you. So guys, 2 minutes to go. I want to welcome all of you. We're just waiting 2 minutes to start. So I hope everything is fine at your side. So hello, Samuel. You can unmute yourself. We're still in informal one.
Yeah. Hi, Samuel.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Samuel. Hi. So I assuming he's speaking from Canada, right?
No, I'm speaking from Kuwait.
Oh, Kuwait. Oh, okay. Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. That's good. And Dina, you speaking from where? Okay.
Yeah, I'm from Cairo.
Okay, it's nice meeting you from Cairo. So we make like, because we only 9, so we just better to know where are we speaking from right now. 1 minute to go, because I don't want to miss your time. But we're just waiting some others to come as well to start our webinar today. I would like to thank Siraj first and Temenos and Agility. He's my teacher, he's my mentor, by the way. The one who's lead me to safe, I can say so. So thank you, Siraj.
Welcome, Fadi.
Yeah. And thank you, Alhad, who will be my co-hosting today. I'm really glad to be with you, brother, because he's a good guy with a great experience. So thank you, Alhad, for that. And I think, Siraj, if you would like to speak about Temenos and Agility for a minute.
Yeah, thank you, Fadi, and everybody. Welcome to all of you. Alhad, nice to see you. And nice to see Naveen, and thank you for hosting Dheeraj. And I'm sure others will also join as we go along. So let's just welcome them as they come, Fadi. So I'd like to welcome all of you from Temenos plus Agility. And as Fadi said, we organize these safe classes and webinars with many others. And it was nice to have Fadi in our class a few months ago. And now here we are doing webinars and other courses. Nice to have Alhad also. We did a SAFE class with Alhad in Pune, actually, a few years ago. And now, Alhad, nice to see you in South Africa. I'm glad to see you on this webinar. So welcome to all of you. I'm looking forward to this conversation about decision-making with SAFE and COVID. So Fadi, very good topic, and I'm hoping that we'll have a good discussion amongst all of us. So welcome to all of you, and over to you, Alhad, Fadi.
Yeah, thank you, Siraj. Thank you, Siraj. Actually, I hope this topic can meet your expectations, actually, because when I'm speaking about decision-making and how can decision-making affecting our normal agile teams, and we now across the globe, we have somebody's from Cairo, somebody's from US, somebody's from Korea, Siraj from I think US, somewhere from Kuwait. So we are around the world, and when you're speaking about decision making, it's going to be like this one. It's going to be like we are around the globe and we make decisions around the globe. So I want to jump directly to my presentation. So please let me know when it's appear on your side. Okay.
Yes, Fadi.
That's good. So, okay. Well, so this is it. And how can we apply agility and applying SAFE processes in decision making? So I want to tell you something first. What do you know about decision making process? So it will be like an open discussion. I am not going to be like a one presenter, so we can have this kind of discussion in order to get our best knowledge out of it. So, okay. What do you know about decision-making process? I don't, of course, what you don't know about it, but how it is. Anybody? Hello? Guys, help me here.
I don't know if it's decision-making as much as compromise, you know, because there are so many factors to optimize. I don't know if you can ever make a good decision. It almost feels like it's a compromise.
Okay. Well, yes, Raj, it's a little bit about compromising and having this kind of art of doing and get alignment for everyone, because decision making will be changed from one nation to another and from one culture aspect to another culture aspect. And that's something I want all of you to be in. So this is me. I am Fadi Ismail. I am a business consultant and certified agile coach. I'm an executive coach as well. I'm proudly from Egypt, and being like 20 years right now. This is my LinkedIn. This is my mobile number. So I'm happy to be with you. And yeah, I love this picture because this one was having by one of my friends. So I'm always putting it. So that's it. Okay, so we need just to start directly about decision making. Well, decision making is a process. So it's a step-by-step process. So it has an input, it has an output, and has some magic when we're doing it. But it's all about gathering information and assessing alternative resolutions. So when you think about this decision making, it's not about one shot or we just have an alignment between agile teams together. Okay, we need to agree on 1, 2, 3, and yes, we agree on this one. So no, it's a process. And being from that aspect, we need to understand the steps of this process. Why? Because in order to drive the culture differences between each other, in order to understand how to accommodate and compromising, like what Siraj said, in this decision-making process, we need to understand first what's the steps of this process. So actually, the approach for this one is just to say, okay, we are going to do something we don't know, so we need to know about it first, and then we need to elaborate. We just need to thought about what it is. We need to have some kind of information. We need to gather some kind of information. And then we need to take a decision and go check if it's okay, it's not. So throughout this presentation, I will take you through this process. I will ask you just to be with me, okay, we do so, we don't do so. Maybe you can leave me some questions on chat, so Al-Had, if you can support me in this. So let's do it. This is the process of decision making. Actually, you can find a lot of processes when it comes to decision making, but I choose this one for Peter Drucker, which has 6 steps for decision making. And actually, I'm in love with these steps because, you know, Drucker is one of authors and one of business minds that SAFe are always referring to. So understanding his situations or his steps about what this problem is and what we are doing to solve something or to take a decision, this is something we need to speak about. So first, let's say classifying this problem. Is it general? Is it new? Do we have this decision before? Do we took this decision before, or just a new decision? Okay, this is something we can open a book and tell we have done this before or not. So we classifying the problem, and meaning a problem or choosing a word problem doesn't mean something it's new. Maybe it's something it's already there, but to take the decision itself, okay, we need to classify this problem or this matter we are going to have this decision for. And then we define the problem. We invest time in having this problem. What's this? What's the information about this problem? Okay, is it normal problem? Is it some sort of unique problem? Is it some sort of problem? I don't know how many know COVID. Is it complex problem? Is it normal problem? So we need to understand exactly what this problem is. And then we need to go specifying the answer, or maybe the right decision for this problem through defining the boundaries. So we need to understand first what the boundaries that controlling our decisions. Like if you're going to buy a car, okay, one of boundaries that may affect your decision is how many colors existing in this car manufacturer. For example, I love black one, okay? So if I took a decision to buy a black car, I will go, okay, what's my boundaries? Oh, Cairo is very hot, so okay, black is nice, but yeah, maybe it's very hot in summer, but I can accommodate, okay? So the boundaries, okay, it's less expensive, it's more expensive than maybe the red one, so it's another boundary. Maybe, yeah, okay, black is good, I like black, but okay, my kids don't like black, so they don't like the car. So it's boundaries about the decision I'm going to take. And then we go for deciding what's right rather than what is acceptable in order to meet the boundaries condition. So in making decision, you need to understand first what is the right thing before you're gonna compromise about it. Why? Because when moving in the boundaries itself, in decision-making process, we may have 1, 2, 3, 4 decisions. All is right, all is applicable to be done. But what is the right thing? If you just know some kind of design-based approach, which we have like 3, 4, 5 approaches, okay, and then moving forward, we just eliminating approach 1, approach 2, till we reach the final approach. This is some kind of decision-making process. So we decide what is right rather than what is accepted. Why? Because we want to do the right decision. First thing is to build the decision into actions, because having this decision without being in action, it means that we don't have any decision. So if I took one decision to buy a car, but I'm not doing this. I didn't go for seller to check a car. I didn't go for a bank to ask for a loan for a car. I didn't do nothing. So is this a decision? No, because it doesn't have an action. And then I took the decision. I go for a bank asking for a loan to buy a car. I choose the black car. I'm testing the validity and effectiveness of this decision. Okay, is black cars available in the market? Yeah, it's available in the market. Is it in my budget? Yes, it is around my budget. Are my kids will love it? Yeah, they will. I will make them love my car. So as you can see, these 6 steps are explaining in a nutshell how can we take a decision? How can we make a decision? The point is, we are not similar. We are different all the way from India to Korea, from Korea to America, from America to Japan, from Japan to Germany. We are different. And that's give another aspect when we are trying to have a decision, because we are not looking to the same decision in the same manner. So you can find that what is right for some persons may be not right for another. What it seems to be action for some persons, maybe it's a huge failure of others. So decision-making process has 2 things. First, whom are you dealing with? Actually, there is a lot of cross-cultural communication models that are speaking about differences like Hofstede and other, like 3 or 4 other models speaking about cross-cultural communication. But actually, I love this one. It's the Lewis model. The Lewis model, it's the latest one. It has been published in 1996 after having a massive surveys and psychological studies about different CEOs and about different companies around the globe. And actually, Lewis is just given 3 colors for the nation around the world. And these nations and these 3 colors are not going to affect how they think, rather than how we communicate together, how we understand each other, what is our potential when we took a decision, rather than what our maybe disadvantage for each other. So we can find the linear active, the multi-active, and reactive. So I will start first with reactive guys, because reactive guys is the guys around China, Korea, Thailand, Vietnam, Japan. These guys are reactive. They are very accommodating. They are compromisers. They are good listeners. They are quiet, speaking quiet. They are to the point analyzers. They seem to have a time to do things. So when you took a decision and you have some friends or teams who's from these countries, you will find him has 1 or 2 aspects of this. And then moving around this, you can find here some multi-active, okay, which is like me, for example. You can find I have a lot of distraction. My hands is just moving. I'm just having this kind of energetic when I'm talking about. If you have some kind of Mexico, Argentina, you will find them, okay, they talkative, they speak a lot. Okay, they are warm, they are having feeling, emotions, they always trying to have this kind of sincerity in decisions they are doing, in actions. They are impulsive. Okay, I want to do it. Okay, I will do it. Why are you speaking to this wild decision-making process? Because decision is about people, and we took a decision for people, and people will implement it or will do it. So you need to understand how they are thinking. If you go for the linear active, which is the guys from Germany, from Switzerland, these guys are very cool, very factual. They don't go for impulsive. They all think about fact. Okay, this is correct. Yes, this is, we need to plan this in 1, 2, 3, 4. Take an example. We spoke about COVID-19, for example. Okay, you can find the Chinese vaccine don't have this much details and this much, information and publicity and media about it. Okay, but yeah, China is having vaccine right now. This is the third stage about testing in human, and they're doing a very good job over there. Okay, but you can find some kind of factual when we come to UK and, for example, yes, we know that AstraZeneca and Oxford have a vaccine right now in the market. They stopped having this kind of experiment for last week. They resumed today to testing on human because they found they can test again. So they think about factuality. And if you go for some kind of African, Sahara, Mexico, something like this, you can find all these guys are very leader, very emotional. If, for example, in last COVID-19, you find Italian having this music in the windows, they caring about each other, they hugging each other despite of this disease. These things we need to understand when we took a decision. Why? The answer is this one. Actually, this diagram is from a good article for Ellen Miller in Harvard Business Review, which is under the name Being the Boss in Brussels, Boston, and Being a Boss in Lagos. So cultures have a different when we come to decision making. We have two kinds of cultures: top down, which is authoritative all the way, or consensual, which they are okay, we are not authoritative, we leave the decision to everyone. We have some kind of egalitarian, which is okay, everyone is equal, and we have some kind of hierarchy, no, from top down. So if you just plot these countries around the 4 quadrant, you will find something very strange. What do you think? What you can find here? Anyone?
If you look at US where I am, Fadi, it's all, top-down decision-making. And that sounds realistic to me. Whereas if you look at India and Saudi Arabia, they're even higher on the top-down decision-making style.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So what about hierarchical and egalitarian, Suraj? What do you think about that?
I don't think US is egalitarian. I think it's more towards hierarchical and top-down.
Yeah.
I respect this author, but I think the survey is not what at least I'm experiencing.
Well, what anyone else, guys, rather than Siraj? Oh, wow. Okay. Anyone else? Hello. We have 12 people here, so maybe someone just tell me something else. Anyone, please? Okay. So first, you need to think about the word decision. And that's actually Suraj in the book you just mentioned on the chat. That's actually the point. What the word decision means. If you go for countries like Sweden, like Germany, like Denmark, the decision means it's done. We are not going to change it. So we go from down to up, level by level.
Fadi, I believe Hassan has something to say.
Yeah, please, Hassan, say.
You can just unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I need just to ask about the difference between top-down and the hierarchical. So I think they are more or less the same thing, or very relative to each other, hierarchical and top-down.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. Well, in top-down, just the boss took the decision, but in hierarchical one, it doesn't mean by any means, Hassan, that the boss is saying it. Okay, maybe the team itself is doing it, but we have some kind of, because egalitarian or hierarchical, how we respect the hierarchy in the nation. So top down, yes, it comes from up, from bosses down, but hierarchical means, okay, how much respect for hierarchy in this nation. So you can find, for example, China, it's in hierarchical, because yeah, they respect the hierarchy, and there is a respect for the higher people, higher manager people or seniors people. So you cannot find a junior going and say something in front of senior. Okay, and one story is in this article is the one who's a leading Chinese, and she was a leading Asia in one of United Nations divisions, and then her manager, American manager, just got her to US to lead something global. But after like 1 year, she has a very bad comment about her, that she is not gonna to say what she is want in front of everyone. She respect hierarchy. So it translated for the American lady like she's lacking of self-confidence. But that doesn't mean this woman has this lack of self-confidence. She respects the hierarchy, because, and this is something, the leadership culture, it's in our back mind. It's in our, it's in our psychology. In each nation, you will find our psychology drives us. So for example, if you go for someone in Sweden, he believes in egalitarian. Everyone is equal. So he can go in front of his boss, in front of his CEO, and say, you are wrong. This is not right. But you can find this if you're gonna for something like China, for example. If you're gonna for something like Saudi Arabia, because this is part of psychology. So top down, decision is taken from the boss down to everyone. Hierarchical is how much we respect the seniors. Is it okay now, Hassan? You can unmute yourself.
Yes, okay, but it's very surprising to me that China is top down and hierarchical, and Japan is the opposite. It's not top down.
Yeah. Okay, that's very nice. That's very nice. That's very nice. Why do you think it's so?
Yeah, I think that the maybe the political nature of two countries are very very different, so that it's reflecting on the business. Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, well, that's what what we call Nimawashi Rengi. And this is in Japanese culture, Nimawashi Rengi, because the Japanese never took a decision unless they facilitating with each other in the small level and then going up to the second level and going up to the third level. It's called Nimawashi. And then when they passing a proposal for someone, the higher managers, it's called Rengi, which that's it. All the lower layers are agreed on that decision. So the higher management is doing this decision. It's very different than what United States, for example, because, and that's some culture difference. If the decision took in Japanese part, it's a decision. It can't be changed. But United States, if we say, okay, we have a decision now. If you're speaking with someone American, okay, guys, we have a decision. Okay, that means, okay, we took a first step. So we can go explore, validate, and then we come back. But in Japanese, no, the decision is taken, so we do an action. We don't stop. So how is this impacting teams, especially global and especially in agile teams? We're coming to save, and we will see that some decisions are centralized and some are decentralized. So for example, if we got some decentralized decisions, and we have a team from India, from South Africa, from Egypt, from Nigeria, from France, United Kingdom, what decision mean to everyone? And how we agree on what decision is about. So when we say word decision, that is mean 1, 2, 3. So the big D and the small d. This is one last thing I want you to get out of this slide. The big D are the nations who think about the decision as a final answer. We did the decision, then we go, and we go to implement it. But the small d are the nation who think that the decision is just a starting point. We start this, okay, we're gonna to have it later. We're gonna to check it again. So if you work with these nations, you have to be careful about what cultures are. Why? Because our psychological part, even if we are on a globe and we have this kind of knowledge about each other, we just back to our base mind when we think about decisions, especially if these decisions are harsh decisions. So if you have a project and you are a Scrum Master, product owner, or even release train engineer, and you working around the globe, you have to think about decision making, because these cultures already exist. Each country has its own culture. So I will stop here and maybe have like 2-3 questions and then continue.
Yeah. Fadi, I had one question for you and one for Alhad. Where do you see Egypt? And Alhad, where do you see South Africa on this map?
Well, for Egypt, it's like, well, okay, it's, let me took my laser point, having things like I am here. Okay, we in Egypt, something right here, you know, because, okay, we are respecting hierarchy despite of everything, because hierarchy is something important for us like Saudi Arabia, but we don't have that much like Saudi Arabia. No, we gone left a little bit to egalitarian. Okay, we are accommodating cultures. So yeah, we are something here in the middle, this area.
Thank you. Alhad, what about you? And all the others from different countries, I know like Do is from Korea. I'd like to hear from y'all. Where are you in this map?
Yeah, sure, Shiraz. I think to me, looking at the current culture here, I think it's more around top-down and hierarchical.
You also, huh?
Most
South
of the times,
Africa.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because most of the decisions are taken by top management and then they are being kind of implemented. But in few areas wherein it's more of a startup and few other things, definitely it's changing the equation though. But yeah, if you consider a large organization, generally it's top down and hierarchical, which is still there.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else from other countries? I know we have at least 2-3 other countries here.
Han, can you go and tell us what you bring? You can unmute yourself, dear. Dohan? Okay. So, Siraj, what do you think about this one now?
Oh, I really like this. And, I like this. Erin Mar, she calls this the culture map, right?
Yeah.
She's done very good research. And her
Yes.
new book also on Netflix is a very good research article.
Yeah. You got me, because I love I love her book, and yeah, the movie on Netflix is great.
Yeah.
Actually, this one aspects why I'm speaking about why, because we have another culture right now, which is COVID-19 culture. So I add this culture, COVID-19, to all rest of these cultures, because in each country we have our own cultures, maybe some winning decisions, but now we have another culture, which is, pandemic culture. And this is different around the globe, because you can find some people who is trying to be more active. If I can go back to one slide, you will find them very, very, very hitting by the pandemic. So if you're doing business with some kind of Spain, Italy, Portuguese, some guys around Brazil, for example, Arabs, these countries are suffering because they're staying at home. They are suffering, actually.
Yeah.
So you can find this culture, how it impact the new pandemic culture. But if you go for somebody's like, China, Taiwan, these guys are reactive, they are accommodating, they have no problem. They having, we can do work at home. And yes, we suffers, but it's okay, we can accommodate this. If we go to have business.
Hadi, Hassan has something to say.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, actually, I need just to mention something, and I need to listen to your feedback about this thing.
Please.
Actually, the decision is not applied on a country basis, so that we are in a real business now, and you can find someone from Germany, someone from Middle East, Egypt, or something, someone from India, someone from China or Japan, someone from Middle Europe, like Bulgaria, Portugal, something like this. So in this multinational project teams, how we can that we are taking a decision that impacting all these people, so that the life is not so much easy, so that it is based on one country that is impacted, but by one decision. No, it's one decision impacting a lot of people in different culture, different companies, and they have to accommodate to the same decision. So how can we deal with this?
That's very good questions. And if you can just, keep it for one slide, one or two slides, I will answer how safe defining these decisions and how can we accommodate these decisions. But let me ask you something, Hassan, here. What does the word decision mean for you?
Yeah, the word decision for me means that architecture decision. What is architecture that we will work on it? What is the overall tools that we are going to use? What are the methodology that we will follow? This kind of things. Yeah.
So it's all about action, but can you change these decisions?
Sure.
Okay.
If we find.
How much do you change these decisions?
It's not it's not happening in a continuous base for sure.
Yeah?
It's happening, let's say, on the beginning of the project or something like this. But actually, it can happen. Maybe in the first or two or second scrums or first PI, second PI. But it can happen.
Yeah. If I have one guy from Germany here, or from one guy from Denmark, okay, the word decision means that we have to study everything, and this is the best one. So we cannot change it unless something massive happens. So,
Yeah, or something, or some new tools appear,
sure,
because we are in a very dynamic world still.
yes, sure, but you can see this is how we are, because we are Arab, for example, okay. So we are Arab, for example, okay. So the word decision for us is not like what the word decision is there for Japanese member or for German member, for example.
Yes.
It's psychological part, you know. This is about how, because end of the day, we are dealing with human, and Agile is about human. Agile is about the mindset itself. So unless you understand the mindset of persons whom you are dealing with and what does the wording mean, not the exact word, but the meaning behind the word in his mind, you cannot deal with him.
Yeah, but I mean that it is much more complex than a decision.
Sure, of course. Yeah, sure, of course. Yeah, sure. And that's why you will find now that we have the principle 9 in SAFe. We speak about decision-making process, because some decision is a long-lasting and it's economical for the whole business. It has an economical impact. These kind of decisions are centralized decisions. So it took by the upper management or by the management itself. And some decisions we can leave it for what we can say the knowledge workers. If it is repetitive and frequent, and it is not a time critical, or sorry, it is time critical and it's frequent, but it have a small economy, larger scale. So we leave it to teams. So back to your question. In your opinion, what kind of decisions you will speak about in your question? Is it a centralized decision or decentralized one?
It could be a mix of centralized decisions and non-decentralized decisions.
Okay.
For example, the company didn't renew a license for some tools, so we have to. You got my point, yeah.
Yeah, I got your point. Please continue, please.
Yes, like the company started to say that we didn't renew a license for one of the tools that we are globally using, so we have to select another one. This is one of the decisions. And also there are some internal decisions for the team. For example, actually architecture decision, that the architecture is for one of the retros or for one of the inspect and adapt. The people are complaining from the architecture that it is limiting themselves for some things, for doing something.
Yeah.
So you have to take a decision for changing the architecture itself. So this is, in my mind, this is one of the centralized and decentralized decisions that we can be subject to, and it will impact the whole team, the whole train.
Okay. So I tell you something. If we took the first decision and applying this tool, is it need to be centralized or decentralized? So is it frequent?
For changing a tool or something like this, it is not. No. This is not frequent. No.
Okay, so we're going to have 0. This is the time critical.
Yes, because actually the license will be renewed. Will not be renewed.
Okay, and this is economic of scale. I mean, it's impacting the whole business for the company.
if it is a tool that it is used by the development team, so it has an impact.
Okay, so high impact, so the company may lose a position in the market or something like this?
Maybe.
Maybe. So we can give it 0, we can give it 2, right? So
Yes.
this kind of, yeah, so this kind of decisions actually, Hassan, I bet it's stay on the Agile release train team, or maybe speaking with the PI and business owners, because if the one company is speaking about some tools and this is the backbone, it is just some kind of what we call enablement for delivering the value. But it doesn't mean that the values doesn't exist. The value will be there. For example, if we're speaking about a bank or a pizza, if we're speaking about pizza, for example, for ease of this, okay? So pizza is a value, you pay for a pizza and you get a pizza, but the stages of the pizza itself is different. You can find someone who's just having, you know, doing, preparing the pizza and then putting the component in it. But if some components are not there, okay, 1 or 2 components are not there, that means that the value, which is you will get a pizza, will be impacted?
You will lose customers.
You will not, but you will compromising with customers, right? You will ask him, okay, I don't have, for example, I don't have olive, so would you like something else? So these kind of things, and actually this can be accommodating, but when we're speaking about centralized decision, for example, if you're working for one company and we telling that we will close franchising in Egypt, okay? Is it an economic of scale or not?
Sure.
Yeah, this is what I'm speaking about. So this is centralized decision. Some decentralized decisions, okay? Like the second one, what you say, okay? For example, having a team, having a meetings, and we speak about each other. But how can you agree with someone if you don't understand him? This is exactly what about decision-making and cross-culture. So to reach an agreement with someone, you have to know first how he's thinking and how he's moving things and processing things in his back mind. And this is what cross-cultures and decision-making focusing on. Why? Because we just need to understand each other first to reach this common ground when we took a decision. You know, and it's happened all the way that we are some developers from Arab countries saying, oh, guys, I can't speak with some fellow from India or some guys from US, a product owner from US, he can't listen, right? Right, this has happened all the way. And okay, I'm just giving an example. Why? Because we don't understand the decision-making process itself, how we do. So when we're doing agility and agile, we need to understand first, we need to take a decision and the nationalities. I tell you something, for example, I bet you are from Egypt, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, that's very good. So I would like to ask you, how do you act in this pandemic?
Yeah, actually, for the pandemic, it's from day one, we are working from home and we are accommodating the business from home.
Yeah, but do you have the same, you know, nice feeling like someone who's living in China, for example? Okay, it's happening, or are you feeling okay, it's harsh for me?
No. Actually, yeah, for my case only, because I don't know the rest, but actually working from home is not happen in a sudden, because actually my company was allowing 1 or 2 days per week for working at home.
So you didn't impact it, but backing to someone else, it's thing. So I don't want to go for this discussion because some guys are here as well. So, but what I want to say is, we have some decisions and some tools which can be allowing us to have the decision early and make it easy. For example, the thinking tool, we're just talking about, okay, this is decision X, like what Hassan said. How frequent is it? What is it, a time critical or not? Is it economy of scale or not? And then, if it is decentralized, think again about your team. What are their culture? How you are dealing with them? What I mean when you say a decision is taken for them. If you are working with centralized and you are in an executive position, think again about that. So this is lead us for what's the impact of COVID-19 on organizational culture. It's working from home. And actually, I am considering this culture as a new culture, adding on to our cultures we speak about right now. Japanese, German, French, whomever. There's another culture which is working from home culture. We don't have this culture all the way. Not all of us have this culture. Maybe like Hassan, he was lucky in having this culture. But for me, for example, no. I wasn't working from home. I don't like staying at home at all. For some people, okay, I can work from home, but I need to go out. I need to see my friends. I don't want to work a whole day in home. So the new research is actually Gartner having a very nice research about that and how it impacts the organizations and the productivity itself. Okay, we know that, yeah, working from home giving us more productivity because we're having something better. But think about when you have the decision, when you have a team around the world, around the globe, when you are speaking with your team in India and you are in US, so the time zones are maybe 12 hours different. What you will do? What's working from home means to you? How can you deal with this culture in addition to his own culture? This is what's safe. And this is my last slide. Thinking about what are the drawbacks on Agile team from this working from home culture? Because it's now being a must, not like, okay, we can accommodate it. No, it's becoming a must. So face-to-face communication, even in the same country, in the same office, is not there. So I would like to know more from you about this. What is the drawbacks on this? So, yeah, anyone can help me on this? I mean, what's the drawbacks on culture? On Agile teams?
Yeah, let me give you some feedback. For the first days, you know that we have in Egypt some curfew.
Yeah.
So during the curfew, the people was working 12 hours per day, something like this. Because actually, if you are not working, you are doing nothing. You cannot go out. You cannot meet anyone because actually there is a curfew and no one is allowed to go out. After the curfew is over and still working from home, I can tell you that we start to face some problems due to non-face-to-face communication. You mean if I came to you and say to you that you have a bug or you have a problem or there is an issue that needed to be resolved, and I tried to call you to clarify this issue. If it is face-to-face, then it could appear to the people that I'm trying to help you. If it is through chat or through communication tools, not face-to-face, it could be appear that I catch a fault for you. So this is what is happening by time, because actually the people are not meet each other face-to-face.
Okay.
This is one of the feedback I could. Of course, the sprint planning, the PI planning was horrible.
Yeah.
Of course, when we are working from home.
Yeah, I want to learn to listen more from you, because Alhad guys is just having a marvelous BI planning for 600 or 700 people. or remote. So Elhad, what are the drawbacks about agile teams from working from home?
Yeah, I think the drawbacks which I've seen is like there is heavy dependence on tools rather than face-to-face conversation, at least towards the initial phase of this lockdown, though. But I think that is something which is helping the teams and organization to see that big picture in one go. I think that's another good positive impact, I would say. But yeah, definitely a few things if I see is more around tool having more importance than the people in certain cases. We need to also see that the tools are supporting the processes which we are doing it, not the other way around, tool driving the behavior of the team. Rather it should support it. So how do we actually bring it to the front? That is one. And then decision making is like coming back to your topic, I think it's more around what is present in the tool, right, as a information. So right, so it's more around tool and having that tool, all the data set and everything together, that is becoming more important than actually the human interaction.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a phase which I think everybody must be going through, and I think we'll soon will overcome that phase and we'll soon start interacting more and trusting each other. So that's how I see it right now.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Anyone else? Guys, please help me. This is our last slide.
Yeah, actually, our nightmare is that that every IT company is now thinking of releasing their buildings. So
Okay.
this is a nightmare for us. So we will continue working from home even after the pandemic is over. This is a nightmare for us.
Okay, guys, any drawbacks? Dina, Naveen, Samuel, guys.
I work at the same company as Hassan, but in a different team, and yeah, we were able to successfully work from home. But I think the main thing on Agile is that Agile was built on people working close together and being co-located, and somehow the pandemic shook this a lot. Yeah, there were overseas agile teams working together in the past before the pandemic, but it wasn't as extensive as it is right now. You have we would have teams in Egypt and teams somewhere else in Europe, but the team in Egypt are together and the team in Europe are together. We would have many travels back and forth for people to build relationships together, not just being speaking online through tools. So all of this, of course, has changed. I mean, it really struck Agile on one of its, like, you could consider pillars, is people building relationships together instead of speaking through tools.
Yeah. Guys, whom else? Final comment?
Thank you, Dina and Hassan. I fully agree. You know, like, look at this call, you know, we are all in so many different countries of the world, and we can never be an agile team, even though we have a good time on this webinar, because we have no opportunity to meet, interact, you know, build a common vision and work together. And I see a lot of distributed teams working, but it's very difficult to work together.
Yeah. Yeah. That's brings us to my last slide. And actually, that's why I love SAFe. Siraj is smiling, yeah. Because one thing is about SAFe, they are always updated. And one thing is about SAFe always having approach of face-to-face. And a huge, and Siraj can speak more about that rather than me, a huge mind shift in SAFe itself to moving to online, even in training and something like that. But we can see here that SAFe is giving a big approach for how can we moving from face-to-face communications to remote communications. Okay, you are speaking about decision making. What is this all about. You're speaking about what SAFe do for remote working. Come on, guys. It's part of cross culture. How you gonna to face someone or to deal with someone for something over tools, and you never see him for a long time. You don't know how he's feeling right now for COVID-19. Maybe he's thinking that his direct manager say him, okay, you may lost your job soon because company don't want this branch. I know one of my friends, she's working for a German company here in Cairo. She was in one of Agile teams, and then her manager told her, okay, after 1 month, you will be laid off because the policy in the company right now to be localizing some Agile teams. Okay, how can you deal with this? There's some decision ongoing on the value stream, on your PI, next PI planning. You will find some team members maybe off. How can you deal with this kind of decisions? So what SAFe is telling us is actually to facilitating the life for everyone. It's to help them to overcome this pandemic. So for example, the famous event, which is BI event, which is going for 2 days consecutive. Okay, saying, no, let's make it on 3 days, 2.5 or 3 days, considering the timetables for the guys from Bangalore and the guy from Texas, for example. And having this organizational agility, which means more depending on tools, more depending about infrastructure, you facilitating effective infrastructure for them, helping them with some, internet access if you don't have X, Y, Z. And on the Agile teams itself, you need to facilitate work for them. So there is 2 or 3 aspects in that. One thing is, you may be face one team member who is isolated, who is working in a time zone, different time zone, he's isolated, he's working alone. He's in Bangalore, but the rest of his team in Europe and Africa. So he's always working alone. So he's feeling like an isolated. So imagine you have a BI planning and you need to ask him for something as a part of Agile team. How can you do this? So you need to make some sort of accommodation for his time zone. Block. Some teams are facing block. Why? Because product owners, Scrum Master are in different time zones and they don't meet regularly with them, so they are blocking. There is no information disseminating between the whole teams. So it's very important, and it's a safe tip, to make the product owner and Scrum Master in accommodating time zones. So instead of daily meeting, for Scrum, or maybe ad hocs, for example, we need to have the Scrum Master and product owner being there for everyone in their time zone somehow. So you need to schedule it. And then to move to the remote working successfully, SAFe recommending supporting team collaboration. You need to raise the collaboration between teams, and you can read the whole article. I'm not going to having much time on that because we are approaching end of our webinar. It's okay, we pass it by 4 minutes right now, but supporting team and facilitating effective online meetings. So there is another decision you have to take for yourself. How can you facilitate the online meetings? How you facilitate an effective online meeting? If you are an RTE, if you are a Scrum Master, if you are a product owner, if you're going to have a BI planning like what Elhad did, how can you move forward in this? Because the whole train and the whole BI planning is about decisions. We took decisions in this major event and across the whole journey. Okay, we took a decision. So if we are thinking about one Agile release train, okay, having for like, okay, 8 to 10 weeks. It's full of decisions and teams around the world. So think again about your teams, where they are from, what is the psychological part of them, and how they are affected by this pandemic and work from home. And I think this is my last words. So thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed, and I can leave 5 minutes for questions. And thank you, Siraj, for letting me in this webinar. Thank you, Alhad, for supporting, and Raj in the backstage. Thank you.
Thank you, Fadi. Great work.